Hey, today I'm going to do a full comparison between the Yemsd and the Freepi walking pads here. I'm going to show you all the similarities and the differences and overall which one I think is better. So I've been walking about 10 to 20,000 steps a day for the past year, and I'll show you what my step count is for today, almost 13,000. And so these have been a huge help for that, getting to 12 to 15,000 steps, which is kind of my goal now. This has helped me lose about 40 pounds in the past year, and I use them as I'm working from home at my standing desk, and I also use them in our family room as we're watching TV and stuff. So I'm going to show you all the differences, but one thing I will say is the Yemsd is a little bit shorter in the length of it, and something I highly recommend is on these, I've started using these furniture sliders because our whole place is carpet, so these can be a pain to move if you don't have these furniture sliders on the bottom. And this also gives it a little bit of lift off the ground, so you don't really have to worry about the belt rubbing against the carpet on the bottom, anything like that. So it kind of elevates it as well, which is super nice. So it's really nice because I can just move them around with my feet, kind of just push it and not really have to worry and use a lot of effort to move them. So it's super nice, and I highly recommend doing that. The lengths of the cord are about the same, about 4 feet. And let's go over the remotes now. So these are the two remotes. This is the Yemsd remote and the Freepi remote. They both have little like place to put around your wrist, but my cat has chewed through this one already because he loves anything silicone, so he just loves to chew on them, and I can't fit them on my wrist anyways. So even with this one being a different material, it's too small to fit around my wrist. But this one, the Yemsd, it requires 2 AAA batteries, which are not included, so keep that in mind. So the other one has the battery included and already in it. If I can get this, there we go. So this one already has the battery in it, and for some reason it's like really hard to open. It's probably partly to do with me not having any nails. But this one has a pause feature, which is something I really love about it, and I'll talk about that later when we test them out. So let's go ahead and turn them on, and we're gonna go ahead and see how different they are with the noise and how loud they are. So we're gonna start with the Yemsd, which it starts at a 0.8, and we're gonna go up to a 2.0. So since this one is a little bit shorter, that took a little bit of getting used to, shorter in length. You just have to be a little bit more conscious when you're walking. So it goes through the time, the distance, the speed, and the calories, and just kind of rotates through them. You can also set it to just have one of them going on at once. But I like the fact that it goes up by 0.1. That's one of the things that I really like about this one. Top speed is 3.8. I usually do between 2 and 3. But as I'm working, I usually keep it on a lower speed, which is something I recommend. So there's no pause button, so I'm gonna turn it off, which is kind of a downside because then you can't continue with your workout and see how long you've been going. But with the Freepi, let me show you. Let's get this going. Starts at a 0.6 and it goes up by 0.2. And this one, when I go up to 2.0, it feels quite a bit faster than the Yemsd. I don't know if it's just me, but it just feels like a lot faster. So for this one, when I'm using it at my desk, I have to keep it on a 1 to 2 because it's really hard to like type and do stuff when you're walking really fast. But I would say that they sound about the same in quiet or loudness, I should say, except if this one was or if the Yemsd was as fast as this one, I think it'd be a little bit louder. Now, what I was talking about earlier is this pause feature is one of my favorite things about it. So you can go ahead and pause it, go get a drink of water, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and then come back and resume your workout, just hitting the play button. And a nice thing about it as well is that it starts at the starting speed instead of starting wherever you left it off. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. So another thing to keep in mind is when you get them, you might have to adjust the belt or you might have to add oil, which is something we're gonna show how to do. So it comes with the little tools in order to adjust. So there's the tools to loosen the belt. That way you can lift it up and get the oil in. And then also the one to adjust the belt when it's deviated. So the Freepi, when we first got it and started using it, it was kind of deviated to the right. So we had to loosen and change things up. And in the instructions, it shows you which way to adjust the bolts, depending on how it's deviated. So the bottom picture shows which way we had to go with it. So basically what I would do is do like a quarter turn or half turn and then turn it on to see if it starts to move over. And then once it's in a good position, I'll just repeat that process until it's in the position that I want. So even you can tell right now it's not perfectly lined up. So this is something you're gonna have to keep an eye on, because once it starts getting off to one side, it'll start to rub against this and it'll be a little bit loud. So you'll know when you need to adjust it. And that could change based on how you walk and stuff like that. Now with the Yemsd, I haven't had to do as much with adjusting it, but I've had to do more with adding oil to it, so loosening it up, because I've had this one for longer. Now, a difference between the two is the oil for this one is a lot smaller, whereas this one, a cool thing that I really like about the Freepi is it has this like extender. So you can actually go ahead, you really don't need to like loosen up the belt very much. You can actually just lift it and then go ahead and stick this in and pretty much almost reach the middle, just like so. And then you can go ahead and add some that way. So I actually use this for all of them, and I just go ahead and use it as is, makes it a lot easier. So that's something I really like about this. And the other big difference with the Freepi is it actually has these foot pads here, so you can make it on an incline. So basically these yellow foot pads here you would remove and you would add these ones, and it'd be the same as like a 4.0 incline. So it's manual having to take them off and put them on, but it is a cool feature if you want to use that incline. So between the two of them, I think they're both great, have a lot of similarities, and I've used them both quite a few times and will still continue to use them. But I will say that the Freepi is my favorite in my personal opinion. So I prefer that one, just with the pause feature and all the different things that it has. I think it's the better one, but you can't go wrong with either.